Larry Stephenson, Superintendent Logos School. Real quickly, because I know I don't have much time, but Logos School has done its due diligence. We've met with city officials, county officials, the State Department of Environmental Quality, and the traffic engineer, and explored the viability of this project. We ordered a topo survey. We had a wetland survey done, and all of those, every meeting we had and all of the studies we had said these 30 acres were appropriate for a school. When our research was complete, we paid cash for the property after our due diligence was done. Logos School has been transparent through this whole process, providing feedback and comments from those at each session. Here are some issues that are very important. Erosion. Our landscape plan that we have with 2 ponds with seed and sodded, if you see that whole area of fields, most of that property is going to be seed and sodded fields. We believe there are some minor wetland issues that our expert told us, Shelley Gilmore, our wetlands expert, that will be easily mitigated with moving some modification of elevation of the dirt. So with swells and berms and with the ponds, we can easily take care of those issues. So we believe that our landscape plan with our sodding and with our ponds is a much better erosion plan than what currently is on the property. So we've improved that. Wildlife. Some of our families have said, well, what about the wildlife? Well, with our landscape plan, we've got trees growing through the front, 20-foot buffers around each side of that property, and then with the ponds, we believe there'll be more pheasants, more ducks, and more geese than there are now. Trees. We love the trees going across the southern boundary of property. On the western boundary property that the city has put there. We love those trees. We don't want them to go. So we're not cutting down those trees. Matter of fact, our landscape plan calls for boulevard trees going on both sides of the road going through the western side of the property. So those will be hornbeams, columnar maples, and oaks, 40 to 60 feet tall. So we'll add trees, and more trees around the outside, more birds. We love trees. The view, the height variance. If you go from the corner of the building, the southwest corner of the building, and you draw a line straight down to the nearest neighbor on Ford Street, is 540 feet. 540 feet. 540 feet from that corner to the nearest opposing neighbor for 11-foot variance. Trigonometry, if you do a little trig, I'm a math major. If you do a little trig from 540 feet from a 6-foot tall person, and you take 35 feet and you elevate it 11 more feet from 540 feet, it is 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch. Site plan. We're asking for 3/4 of an inch for the site plan. Site plan view. Now, the trees, our trees we put in, and the trees that the city already has on there, they will block already, if they get 20 feet to 30 feet on that site plan, they'll block a complete view of the school, the complete view. So please, pass the CUP and give us 3/4 of an inch.
I have a question for you, Mr. Stephenson. Your student body president, Mr. Evans, said that you've looked everywhere for possible sites. Did you look at the Thompson property across Highway 8 and essentially across from the cemetery?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
And was that unacceptable?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Why?
For safety reasons. Safety reasons. You ever driven off a state highway and tried to turn a right to a school? A state highway pulled into a school?
Not there. You couldn't pull into the school.
Give me an example of a state highway you drove into a school.
Mr. Stephenson, I don't want to argue with you
Ask the question, I'm answering.
about the site that would work or not, but it would seem to me that the access to that site would not be off the state highway. It would be off the interior roads adjacent to the
I agree with you, but the Thompsons said we could not come. They would not sell us that property if we come anywhere else except off State Highway 8.
Oh, that would do it then. You're
Yes,
quite
ma'am.
right. You're quite right. You
Thank
got
you.
me.
We did, and let me
Yeah.
go on. We looked at every possible site. I met with the city. I met with the county. I met with private property owners, and we appealed. Please consider Logos School for that property. And the county and the city, and they looked at the properties. They said that spot is the best spot. And by God's grace, the trails came to us and said they'd be willing to sell it to us. Don't take it away from us.
Well, it's not my problem. It's our problem and your problem. Thank you for speaking with us tonight. Is there anyone else who would